Right, there we are. What a nightmare. Anyway, so I couldn't go on my live on the other one, so I'm going live on here. Just wait for a few people. I've really got to find someone who knows how to do all this stuff because I'm not great at it. And then obviously these schedulings and stuff, I don't know. It's a bit of a pain to be brutally honest. So if you're now joining me, I'm talking to myself because there's no one person has joined the chat. Hey, sup? Hey, hello, Mike. How you doing? I'm on. I'll tell you what I'm on, fella. I'm on a bit of Strongbow dark fruit. It's a bit naughty. I like this. You know what I mean? Oh, Adrian, how you doing, chap? Shane, how you doing, bud? I hope you're all well. Yeah, I know. I've been having technical issues. I'm going to have a look into this. In how I do these live streams because it's winding me up. I'm not going to lie. Oh my days! I'm 56 years old and I'm trying to. I don't know. Sometimes I feel like I'm trying to be all hip and happening. I'm donning the white shirt, as you can see. The old one of my favourites actually. I like white. The only downside is it gets absolutely. Oh my mate, Big Sean's in the in the chat. How you doing, boy? Blah blah blah. He said, "Oi, feel free in the chat to give Burnsy some stick. He's an Arsenal fan. He's probably buzzing after their 3-0 drumming of what was it? Who they play? Nottingham Forest. So yeah. So anyway, look, let's get into the chat, shall we? Let's get into it. First of all, if you like what I do, I only do it as a hobby. Fisherman's Blues. Like, subscribe, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. I've been getting over 50 likes for the channel, so I'm not for each video. So I'll just stick at 50. Leave little poor old me alone. Yeah, right. So let's get into it, shall we? So like I say, yeah, like, subscribe, tell people about me. I appreciate it. I really do. Let's get into Friday night's action. I haven't had to do one. I wanted to do one Friday night. I'm not going to lie. I was so eager to do one, but I've been working a weekend, so this is my only opportunity to really do it. So I thought, right, I'll schedule it, but that didn't work out the plan, so I just had to redo it live. My old mate, hey, Dwayne's in the old chat. Dino, how you doing? But anyway, let's get into it. Right. So obviously we lined up with Palmer in goal, left back Leif Davis, Greaves, O'Shea, Furlong, Matasiwa, I can say it now, Cajuste, Agpom in the 10, Philogene, get onto him in a bit as well, McAtee, and obviously Hurst up front. And, you know, look, you know, you got to start somewhere. We've lost a lot of players in the summer, so let's see. Did we win? Oh, did we win? That's a silly question. Oh dear, that dark fruit is coming back at me. So yeah, so basically, you know, I was happy with the lineup. I've been a bit concerned about two players specifically, Hurst and O'Shea, which I will get onto. So what I want to do is just get negatives out of the way, and then we can really talk about the positives. So negatives for me, O'Shea's passing at times was absolutely woeful. He's not had a good week. He wasn't great with the Republic of Ireland, and he for me he wasn't great with us at the weekend. And I think better teams would have punished him. Question marks on his ability to be a captain, and obviously Hurst was a bit of a Caden Jackson, really, until he scored. Lots of effort, lots of work rate, but no end product. But that's it. That's all the negative I'm going to say. Because let me tell you something, right? The first half was a bit of huff and puff from both teams, feeling their way. And, you know, we got lucky with our goal. Great pass from, I can't think of their name. But it's a great pass to Philogene, who took his goal really well. And don't have Norwich colours in here. What you want about, Burnsy? So yeah, he took his goal really well. Really pleased for the lad because and that was the start of it. Really, we got to half time. We had a few chances, but no real clear cut. I mean, Sheffield United, good with the ball. My God, were they poor in the final third? They really were poor. And I think the rumours are is their manager's got sacked and they're going back in for Chris Wilder. Should have sacked him in the first place. So obviously second half starts, and get our third goal. Hurst with our third, our second goal, third goal with Hurst. Jack Clark coming on scoring, and Philogene with his hat trick. And I've got to say, Philogene. Do you know what? Right, there was two outstanding players that started that played on Friday night. One of them was Philogene, and I'll tell you what, the other one was Furlong. He was unbelievable. Nothing got past him. Probably the best debut I've seen of a player for a long time. I thought he was outstanding. Defensively, we needed that. We needed that stuff on the. We needed some sort of good right back on that side. And look, I like Ben Johnson. Don't get me wrong. I think he's better going forward than he is as a defender. That might be an option. I think McKenna obviously sees that. But Furlong for me had an outstanding debut. And if it hadn't have been for Philip Jean, as I've called him over the years, or Billy Jean, because I'll tell you what, he was dancing on that field, wasn't he? I mean, I've given him some rightfully some criticism, and so is obviously my good friend Cruncher. If you don't know Suffolk Crunch, go and join his channel. He's got a YouTube channel as well, and we often have some great debates on the old WhatsApp. So, anyway, so Philogene, I mean, that third goal, that was just picked that out, wasn't it? I mean, I thought the net was going to burst. I really was. It was hit it was such venom. Cooper, I'm a great fan of, but my God, he was on fire, wasn't he? Sorry, I'm just reading some. I've got one of my fishing friends in here, right? Well, I say fishing friend. He's more of a match angler, but Burnsy. So yeah, Burnsy's a match. He likes catching tiddlers. So just watch him. He's winding me up because he knows I hate Norwich. Anyway, so yeah, Paul Cooper. Cooper was very poor. Some very very poor goalkeeping, and I rate him. And I think it's something to do with the fact that the team. Sheffield United, how that kind of I can't think of the word really. It explains how and why they're playing the way they are, because every one of them is not playing well, and a bit of a mare for Hurst, a bit of a mare for Clark's goal, and I do think that if they get right managing, they'll be fine. They'll be there or thereabouts. I don't think they'll be. Don't think there'll be much on about it. But another player I thought really did well was Matasiwa. I thought every time I see him, I think you can see why we brought him in. I think, the more and more he gets settled in the squad, the more he gets settled in that midfield role, I think he'll do absolutely brilliant in that midfield. I'm just going to go on the chat here because honestly, you boys, let's see what happens when we play quicker forward and take our shots. Dino, do you know what? Get back to O'Shea. I think that's my worry. I think, he's good with his head, no two ways about it, but his passing, my God, that was shocking. Some really poor passing. And Davis and mate, do you know what? Davis probably had his best game for us for a while. I don't know what it was, why he was told to play like an inverted left back at times, because it affected his play so much. And some of them balls he whipped in, wow, back to his best type. The season we went up from the Championship, unbelievable. That was good. I know Hurst got his goal. And funny enough, I was having some WhatsApp chats with my boy, and we were saying, Jesus, I think it's time hers came off, and then bang, he puts one in the back of the net. Yeah, look, Cooper had a mare with that one, didn't he? But it was nice to get that in there. But the thing is about Friday night. I know that we won 5-0, and the scoreline. Let's be fair. I think if that had been 8 or 9-0, I don't think Sheffield United fans or any Sheffield United team would have been too unhappy, because that second half showed what we can do if we really start putting the ball in the back of the net. And with some of the players that we can bring on now, we've got a little bit of strength and depth, and I think it's nice to get our first home win. I think it's the first home win since December, isn't it? Last year. So it's it's nice to get a home win. And the fans that went, my two boys went actually. They were right next to the away fans. So my boy Jake and Alex, they were, shall we say, giving them away fans some what's names. Their exact words were, some United lad with glasses decided, well, that's not what they said, but one United fan with glasses was trying to climb over to give them a slap, and they were laughing so bad. In the end, he got thrown out. But look, it's just passion of the game, isn't it? Away fans give it, home fans give it, and you just got to take it. Mike D asks, which hat-trick better? Dillian versus Borough of Phillies. I've got to say Philogene. Philogene for me was probably one of the best hat-tricks I've seen for a long time. It was just the way he played. Like I said, he was gliding across that grass, which is what you want. It's really, for me, it was just unplayable. He had an absolutely unplayable game, and that's what you want. So I'm just going to grab a drink. Adrian Garnett. Yeah, how's your brother, Mike? He's good. I haven't seen him since the last time I went over. I've got a couple of weeks off in the end of this month, so I'm going to go and make sure I pop over and see him. It was nice. We talk about hat tricks. Alex Matthews against Norwich. That was a good one, wasn't it? I am so looking forward to October. The Budgies. Did anybody see that song in the Budgies? They were talking about, we don't care, or something about Nunes, and they were going, see you next Tuesday, and scum and all that. I'm like, you're really not bothered about Nunes, and yet you're singing songs about him. I think it's hilarious. Yeah, with Jordan Bolton in playoffs. Some great hat tricks over the years. And it's nice to see another young lad do it, because that's going to look. He's had some stick, rightly so. He's going to get better. If he continues to play like he's playing, he's going to just get great. He really is. Thoughts on our bench? Do you know what? Yeah, it's a very strong bench. Don't know much about the lad who came on, the big tall. What's he? Danish? Holland? I don't know where he's from. To be honest, but he's very tall lad, isn't he? I thought he was going to play a number 9 role, but he's not. He's playing it on that wide right. Norwegian, thank you, Dino. Bench is very strong. Like I said, you got Azon coming on and stuff. I thought he looked good. Nunes looked a bit good when he came on. He was proper. He's proper wanting to get into it, and he really, as you can see, he's got a bit between his teeth. He's like, let's get. I can't wait. I can't wait for that. If he starts or he comes on, can you imagine the Norwich fans? They're losing say they're losing 2-0 and he comes off the bench. That's going to be like rubbing massive amounts of salt in the wound, isn't it? Let's be fair. Oh, I know, Bernsey. Well, Burns is an Arsenal fan. Yeah. And no top parade the last 4 or 5 years for second place. Did you know that? Anyway, so he Even Tottenham got a European trophy last year. God, that must have hurt. Get back to Ipswich. I love it, love it. Get back to Ipswich. So, like, look, Palmer. I thought Palmer looked really comfortable. Greaves. I love it when Greaves runs with the ball. He gets a ball and he runs into space. You know, really, really, really looking forward to that. You know, I love to see that. He did it a couple of times in the second half, and it just looked really good. You know, Greaves at the moment. And like I said, you know, I don't think there's much to be worried about if we can keep a settled side. So would I? The only thing I would I start with Hurst? I can't decide at the moment. Look, he scored. He's got to be given another game. I think I'd do his confidence a world of good. He's no Delap, we know that, but he's it's a different type of player. And Dino, like you say, mate, Palmy actually made a save on Friday. I know. You are so cynical. Dean, Dean, clean sheet, and that's going to do the guys a world of good. I just worry about O'Shea. He just wasn't. His passing, that's the thing that got me. And people hammer Palmer a little bit about his passing, but you've got to have movement up front. You've got to have movement, and you've got to be able to pass to a player in space. No good just passing a blind pass to someone that may get the ball. You've got to give him an opportunity to, pass a ball to someone in a bit of space. It doesn't help. Help any goalkeeper for that. If you look at some of the top teams and the way they play, they keep, even Edison and Allison and goalkeepers like that have done mistakes when they passed it to the wrong player. I haven't mentioned Cajuste. Yes, I thought he had a solid 7 out of 10 game. Now, people go, 7? I'm like, yeah, actually 7. Cajuste reminds me a little bit of Burgess with consistency. You very rarely get a bad game out of him. And, he's a good little midfielder. He does offer a lot going forward. There was question marks last season over his defensive side of the game, but look, with someone like Matasiwa next to him, I think it can help Cajuste a lot because at times Cajuste can just roll a player, flick a ball past the player and just lay a pass off, and that's what he did a few times in that second half. For me, we've needed this as Town fans. We've needed this. We've needed a result like this because it's been tough. The Premiership was tough, and yes, I know we did the double over Chelsea and whatever, and we won very few games and stuff, and we gave a few teams a run for their money. But ultimately, we tried. I said it before. We should have gone a little bit more defensively in the Premier League, and who knows? But we are where we are now. So we'll talk about now. And Friday night epitomises what we want as a fan base. We want to be able to go to a game, not necessarily put 5 past, but you like Mike Baker just says. Two things I mentioned. So Dean, don't need him to tackle. He needs to start things. Yeah, I agree. But you remember he's ultimately a holding midfielder, and that's what he's there for. Obviously, to break up play. Yeah, Shane. Honestly, mate. Yeah, you're not kidding. So Mike Baker says you can slowly see patterns of play developing. This team will only get better given time. So much to look forward to. My worry is if we don't. So obviously, who we got next? I think we got Bristol City, then Charlton, and then. So look. We do need to get some more results going. Oh, yeah, we've got Blackburn, that's it. Blackburn, we do need to get some results. Blackburn away. If we can get a result there, look, out of the next 4 games, there's only one game that worries me is the Bristol City game. I mean, their owners are they've got new owners, haven't they? Some Saudi guys. So they're going to be spending big in the if not this window, in the January window, definitely in the summer, they're going to be spending a fair bit. So, they've got money to burn now. So yeah, look, that's the only game. I think if we can get a draw there and 9 points from the other games, including Norwich, I'll be happy. That'll give us 10. That'll take us to 16. As long as we're as long as we're in the sort of close to the top 2, come December, I think we're okay. It was all a bit doom and gloom a few weeks ago because we weren't winning games. We were losing all the players that got us promoted, and it was heartbreaking for Town fans, and there was question marks on McKenna. Like I said, one swallow doesn't make a spring or summer. So we've got to find a few more swallows in the next few games and hopefully pick up some more wins, because then we can say, okay, Fisherman was wrong, and McKenna, we've got to trust him, and I get that. But sometimes when you're losing games, you get very frustrated. I do. I'm terrible for it, and I can't help it. But Shane, what you say? He worked really hard, Mike, and I get that, Dean. But still, a lot of teams will come with a mid or a low block. Don't forget. I'm not sure what you meant by that, Dwayne. A low block, or this low block is just a load of FIFA talk. Fisherman's wrong. Never. I'm never wrong. What are you on about? This low block can be beaten. It can be beaten so many times if you just put balls in the box. If you're looking to pass around the area, then the low block's a piece of piss you can defend yourself till the cows come home. But even Man City today against United, they were putting balls in the box, and their first goal come from a brilliant bit of you boys are nasty. Brilliant bit of improvisation, and there was Foden, but I'm not so sure about that, Mike. If I'm honest, I don't think you need to move. I don't think you beat a low block by moving the ball at pace, because a low block is what we call a flat back 11. That's what we used to call a flat back 11. We can. Like I said, we have the players that can put balls in the box, and I think that if has to be the case, we do need to be a little bit more, I would argue, there was talk on Match of the Day about the long throw, and how it's it's a taboo thing. No one likes the long throw. Well, Christ alive, tell Rory Delap that. He mastered it. But the low block is like Burnsy laughing. It is. It's flat back 11. 11 men behind the ball. You pass it around us, and we'll just close the space down. Okay, fine. You do that. We'll just get down the byline, whip a ball in the box, get numbers in the box, and header it in the back of the net. So there's ways around the low block, or the defence, as we call it. It's all this new term. I was talking to Cruncher the other week. The inverted wing back. It's just bollocks. Where do they come up with these things? They go on. They think, oh, how can we make football sound like a computer game? Easy, But you are right, Dino. McKenna does seem to find it hard to beat these teams, and like I said, the only way to beat them is to whip a ball in the box, and it's proven to be the case. We can have a swig of this. Whip balls in the box, Who knows what will happen? We need a double pivot with transition. But that is true, isn't it? It's this modern game. I mean, look, most people that know me, I'm a level 1 football coach, and I've been around football as a referee for many years. And when I did my level 1 coaching, I got to a coach and he said, "Listen, this is not a football. This is not a computer game. Football doesn't run off a computer game. Football runs on feelings, emotions, passion, psychology, fitness, stamina, and all these different things. And tactics. Tactics are a massive, important part of the game. And like you say, yes, I know we have this passing back. What's that? Time to level what? Okay." Didn't Will still get his job playing Football Manager? Yeah, I tell you what, you got to look at some of the managers. Don't. Yeah, I could go. You get me on my soapbox in a minute. I'm telling you. But it is. It's the modern style is pass out the back. It's Pep Guardiola style football, and I think Pep's ruined a lot of good players, English players, if I'm honest. He ruined Jack Grealish, and now look at him playing at Everton, doing really well, expressing himself. I'm not a fan of the Pep style football. I know it's all modern, and you got that twat at Arsenal, that manager there who loves finishing second. He can't, he's trying to be Pep Guardiola 2.0, isn't he? And how's that working out? Look, for me, there's only possibly, I reckon, 3 teams that will probably challenge the top. I think it's Liverpool's to lose this season again. I think Arsenal will probably finish 2nd or 3rd, and you might get Chelsea sneak in and Man City in a 4th. I think Tottenham will probably finish in the whatever. But blah 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 blah. You love it, Sean. You love it. Mike D says, when you have centre halves getting the most touches of the ball in a game, the game needs changing. PSG showed how to do it last season. Do you know what? That is absolutely spot on. You watch PSG in the Champions League. I had them to win it. It is. You can play. I've said this before now. You can play direct. You can have direct football. You just get the ball up quicker. Pace, power, speed, accuracy. That all helps. Playing long balls into the channels sometimes. That happened. I think it was watching earlier. There was quite a few United. I think there was a few balls played to United players in channels, and they got the ball. Okay, they were never going to score. They looked like you love a bit of Route 1. See, this is all I get. You love the old Route 1 long ball. No, I'm talking about direct play. I'm not talking about spending 10 minutes with the centre backs and the left backs right backs passing it to each other. Waiting for guys to run onto them. Sometimes you can play a long pass into a channel. Sometimes you can whip a ball into that midfield, get that midfield turned, and be more direct with your play. That's just my opinion, and I get that. Obviously, a lot of people, see it as me trying to say we need to play long ball. No. For me, it's just like I said. I've said this to friends. It's just I mean, if you think about some of the quality players, can you imagine Gascoigne playing in the way that we play this day and age? Do you know what I mean? You'd never get Gascoigne would probably be £150 million player in his prime and end up at Man City, and then Pep would probably ruin him. Oh, you can't express yourself. You need to pass the ball. Glenn Hoddle in his prime. Do you know what I mean? Franz Tyson, Almiron, Messi. I mean, thankfully, Messi was a player that just said, "No bollocks to you. I'm going to do what I want to do," and that's what he did. But the reality is that we with our play, we've got the players that can. If we can just get quicker, I think we need to get quicker with the ball. Yeah, he did actually. Hoddle did get that treatment in England set up. Goal for the weekend. Ball over. Absolutely. Do you know what? You're right. Absolutely spot on there. Look at Spurs' goal as well. That one there. That sort of long pass from the midfield straight onto his head in the back of the net. Sometimes you can do that, and I think you have to mix it up a little bit. You can't always do the press. You can't always do this. You've got to do the press. And like I say, sometimes one pass will cause damage. Today, Haaland's goal, one pass across the mid into him on his path, and he was away. Thomas Frank is a very good manager, but you got to say, Brentford are holding their own at the moment, aren't they? You look at Bournemouth, how many players they lost? They got a win yesterday. So who knows? Who knows? I think where Ipswich are concerned, I think we've had. It's been a bloody good weekend. Haaland is a beast. Christ. We as town fans, we've had a great weekend. No two ways about it. We all came home. Those who went came home buzzing. Those who watched it were buzzing. Any changes for Blackburn, Mike? Would I make any changes? I might consider dropping Hurts to the bench, but I think it might be a bit unfair. He scored, and although he's not particularly played well of late, he got his goal. Who knows what might happen? I wouldn't worry about changing the team too much. I think we need to keep a settled side and bring those players off the bench. I do think sometimes McKenna needs to bring them off quicker. Not obviously the other day because we were doing all right. But the key to that game was getting a second goal. Because if we hadn't got a second goal, I genuinely think we'd have probably ended up bloody conceding. We'd end up being a derby situation, which I didn't want. But thankfully, Sheffield United didn't really look like they were going to do anything. We have to follow that up. 1 up now, and Blackburn, you'd agree? Oh yeah, we got to win at Blackburn for me. We win there, and that takes us to 9 points. And you start to. The thing is about football, and I love the psychological side of it. If you're winning games, and teams around you see you winning games, you straight away got a psychological advantage because you're like, instead of us, all right, Ipswich ain't playing very well. Look, they've got some good players, but don't think they're not going to do us. But that season in the Championship and in League One, every team that come to us feared us. At the moment, teams that come to us don't fear us. After this Friday night, who knows? But you've got to have that psychological advantage as well as the ability to win games. The more games you win, you get that momentum, which is great, but you create a solid psychological barrier between you. It's like you've got 12 players on the pitch against 11, because that psychological advantage can make a difference to a team. People think, Christ, they're doing well now, we need to be wary of them. And I know managers will say, oh no, Ipswich, whatever, you get at them, they'll do this, they'll do that. But you're talking about psychology, and that can play a massive part. And like Shane says, once we got the second, it killed them, and you could see that. But the fact that their heads had gone down a little bit, and then we got the third, and then it was just them fourth, and then fifth, and it was like, you saw the fans at the end, you saw players at the end. I mean, one player, there's a shot of the guy just literally just shaking his head as he was clapping his hand, because The fans were giving him absolute pelters, giving the team pelters and the manager. And it's not working out. So look, you're just going to have to take it on the chin and go from there, really. We will get on to the Blackburn game, and hopefully we can get another win there. And I can come on here and be as happy and as cheerful as I am tonight, because 5-0 at home, I ain't seen that since Luton. That's the last time I can remember a 5-0 home win. Can't think of anything else like that. Against, we had 6-0, didn't we? Oh my God, yeah. In League One, yeah. So look, it just, yeah. If we can go, we keep going, we'll do well. We'll do all right. But we've got to get some back-to-back wins. We don't want to go to Blackburn and end up losing or drawing. That just deflate us as fan base again, especially when we got Charlton. I should really know this, shouldn't I? I can't believe it. I just cannot believe it. I don't know who I'm playing next. I've been at work all weekend. That's my excuse, and I'm knackered. So Ipswich's next 5 games, or next few games. So Blackburn away. We got Portsmouth at home. That's it. That's another team I couldn't. I think. Look, let's go on here. Let's do a bit of predictions. Blackburn away. I think we get a win. Portsmouth at home. I think we get a win. I'll take a draw at Bristol City, and I think we need to get a win against the Scum. I'm sick and tired of their 16 years and you've won us. You ain't beaten us yet in 16 years with your 10 fingers on one hand shit. And then we got Middlesbrough away after that. And that's going to be a tough one. So, Charlton, West Brom, all winnable games. And who knows? Who knows what happens? We might be able to climb this table and get back in the Premier League, which is where we belong. Although I didn't like VAR. If you could vote right now in the chat, would you get rid of VAR? Yes or no? Come on. I'm just going to just sit there with you. I'm going to watch as these votes come in. Would you keep VAR? Just one person. We've got 13 people watching. We've got one person voting. No. Okay. Get rid. For me, VAR has got too involved. Yeah, agreed. I can't disagree. Look at Fulham last week. For me, I think it's got too involved. I think it's got far too involved. I think you need to let the referee make the decisions. I'll tell you what, right? This is how I would do it, right? So in the first half, the manager can call for 2 decisions to be overturned, and for the referee to go over to the screen and overturn. And that would mean on a penalty shout, on an offside shout, and a serious foul type thing. If he feels that should have been a yellow card, I think if they could do that, both sides, and then the VAR just look after offsides, ball going out type thing, goal, and what I would call serious foul play. And people are saying in the chat, Shane says a scum defense is not good. No, get rid of it. Yes, to involve should never be allowed to slow down the replays either. Refs are relying on the VAR too much, says Dino. Never helped us in the Prem. I don't think it's just us. I don't think it's helping anyone in the Premier League. I think some of the decisions. I mean, that one against Chelsea, Fulham and Chelsea. I mean, that was diabolical. It was a perfectly good turn. Chalabar was the one that put his foot in, and he wondered why he's got his toe stood on. No disrespect, but if I put my foot, if I put my foot in boiling water that someone's carrying, that's my fault. Not. It's just ridiculous. Poor decisions. So for me, I would, yeah, I think each manager should be able to challenge two decisions in a game, maybe two in the first, two in the second, or three decisions in the whole game. After that, you go with the ref. Yeah, that's another thing. No one really knows what's going on. Handball. I mean, Christ alive, football is such a fast game. When you go down to make a tackle, your arms go everywhere. You do that naturally. To say that your arms are not in a natural position when you're running, you're out there and your arms out there and you're trying to run, and that ball hits you in the hand. Oh, that's handball because no, it's not. Handball, I mean, like, God alive, used to be ball to hand, not hand to ball. Absolutely, Dean. Like jumping for a header. You jump, you use your arms to give yourself a bit of leverage to go up. It's the whole football world, the whole football in the Premier League, especially the rules and regulations and VAR, is too woke for me. We don't need it, and I just think. Yeah, again, I've heard, that Burnley today as well. Yeah, get rid of it, says Graham Tate, and like I said, rubbish system. I do honestly. I think it's just, you know, it's made. I tell you what, it's made the Premier League game a little bit like someone's got a joystick or a controller and they're running around. It's a bit too PlayStation-y for me. I'd rather just have the referee on, referee the game. Yes, referees made mistakes, but we had goal line technology which should cut out whether it was a goal or not. That should be simple. And I just think the managers should have, 3 calls a game so that they can, challenge a decision on whether they think it was a foul or not, or a penalty or not. My D, should Hurst have had 2 on Friday? The other one he scored looked inside. Yeah, I think probably he should have had 2. I think he should. At least on Friday night, we could celebrate a straight win when 5 goals went in. Absolutely. Shane Griffith says it's made like it's played on Xbox, and that is absolutely spot on. I think we need to get away from Xbox, PlayStation type football, and we need to get back to playing football, and get VAR off the system. It's when you look at League One and League Two and some of the teams, I watch a bit of Cambridge. When I get a chance, I watch a bit of Colchester, I watch a bit of local sides, or I think, oh yeah, that's a nice little derby, I might watch that. Look, the football's not great. It's not like Premier League when it's pass. But you get some really good battles. You get 2 battles between a right back and a left back. Get battle in the midfield. You get there seems to be a lot more understanding of the game, that it is physical. Whereas Premier League, you've got players, falling over like they've been shot. It's ridiculous. It's embarrassing. One of his hairs touched my leg. Oh, that's it. I have a broken leg. And so many players these days just mamby-pambies, isn't they? Honestly, let's be fair. My God. I mean, can you imagine? I swear to God. So I was watching anybody watched the Man United, Ipswich v Man United game in the 70s when we beat them 6-0. That pitch was like a ploughed field. I would love to see modern footballers play on that pitch now. And, footballers back then were made of different iron. They were steel, whereas now it's like the players we got are made of alloy and soft centres, really, But like I say, it's VAR. I'd get rid of it. And it seems to be the consensus within the chat I've got here. We're coming up to 45 minutes, and I can't thank you enough for joining me. It was an absolute pleasure to watch the boys stick 5 past Sheffield United. Philogene, man of the match. Had he not done it, had he not got it, Furlong was a bloody close second. So, you know, a good all-round team performance. I'm going to give the performance a 9. The whole thing, a 9 out of 10. For me, I felt it deserved that. Thank you for watching me tonight. Like I said, I don't get paid. I'm not looking to get paid. I don't run subscriptions where you pay $5 or whatever. I just don't do that. I just want to do this, have a nice chat with people, and have my opinion on it and see where it goes. Right now, ref was man of the match. Great performance, Jack. I love that. Yeah, man of the match. But I'll tell you what. Before I go, has anybody noticed how many red cards are being dished out this season? I was looking, the first game of the season, I think there was 15 across the 4 leagues. And I think there was another like 16 or 17 yesterday. The FA starting to sort of, are they trying to raise money for their Christmas bonus or something? Because, I mean, Christ, yeah. But anyway, as Dino said, thank you so much for watching tonight. These are my wife's paintings, just in case you wonder what they are. I love them. She, she's not a professional. She just does it because she enjoys it now and again. And as Dino says, like, subscribe, and comment. Love the comments. Keep them coming. And for you guys out there who's watched tonight's show, or my podcast, my vlog, thank you. I appreciate it. And until next time, after the Blackburn game, I will be on here again. Till then, enjoy the rest of the week. Let's get another win, yeah?